I'm Derek Caraway. I'm a member of the Florida Youth Council, and this session is entitled Being Healthy with a Disability. And these are some of my fellow council members, if they'd like to introduce themselves.
All right. I'm Alex Brown. I'm actually the youth advisor for the Florida Youth Council.
Chris Regan will be your official exercise demonstrator today. Almost 21 years old. I'm currently a junior in college at the University of North Florida in St. Johns County. And I'm happy to be here tonight. All right.
All right.
I'm Christina. I'm a new member of the Florida Youth Council.
Okay, so in this session today, we're going to be discussing being healthy with a disability. So to start off, just any thoughts from the audience of what y'all think being healthy with a disability means? Yes?
If you don't look like the healthy body, you know, if you're different proportion or something, that's not necessarily what healthy means.
Yes, that's good. Going off that, the root word of healthy is health. You get health. And the definition of health is a state of being bodily and mentally vigorous and free from disease. So there's different aspects of being healthy, including
Just real quick, I just want to attend on that. I think you're absolutely right that you see that sometimes that doctors and stuff like that, they see people who have disabilities and they're like, well, you're not healthy. You're not, and they can't see beyond that, that there is, for each person with a disability, there's a different level of what health is, and it changes because of whatever the issues are. That has to be kept in mind that the disability doesn't allow everyone to be the typical healthy, what healthy looks like.
yes, that's fine. Going off that, do you have any thoughts on what different aspects of being healthy would be? Yes, Carl?
I think being healthy goes further than just looking physically fit. I think it's also about like your hygiene and how you carry yourself as well.
Yes, that's definitely correct. And also, just some other things. Obviously, when you think about, you think of your physical health and exercising and eating right. But there's also, you have to think about your mental health because that can affect your other areas of your health in your life. Do you have any other thoughts or ideas? Maybe y'all would like to share anything?
No, I think that, the big thing is that being healthy is a complete mind-body part of it. And if you only look at the physical part of it, then you can sometimes makes it very difficult to actually classify someone as being healthy. And you got to work, both those things have got to work together to achieve an optimal level of health for anybody. I mean, if you struggle with depression, then it makes it a lot of people when you're depressed, you end up doing stuff like overeating. So that has its own level of difficulty. Like there's a level of imbalance that can develop there.
So moving on, do you have any thoughts on why, or what the importance of people with disabilities of striving to be healthy, or what the importance of striving to be healthy would be? Yes, Carl?
I think striving to be healthy means that you're looking towards a goal and you're always looking toward your future and just, being a better you. And health is different, I guess, depending on what your own definition of health is. So it's subjective. And, so just trying to, I guess, like, measure yourself on a level that's specific to you and not necessarily to everybody else's standards. So it's just kind of
choices we make.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about earlier, you know, part of health is what you put inside your body, what you eat. And that is, it all comes down to choices. You know, we had Pam Popper talking about the different, you know, what happens when you put, or, you know, plant-based foods in your body as opposed to animal-based products, and how that affects your body and how that, you know, decreases your risk for all kinds of diseases. You know, sometimes you do have to make that hard choice of whether you want to exercise or not. I mean, it's just like right now, like it's raining outside right now, as you can tell by the rain hitting. It's, you know, you got to make that choice. You want to go out and get wet, or do you want to stay in and be dry?
Or you can go to the exercise area.
Or you go to the exercise, indeed. I think sometimes the people don't look at it like that. Like, if you're choosing to put something like a candy bar in your body, it's like going out and getting wet. It's like you don't see it that way.
And continuing on, talking about striving to be healthy and its importance, some thoughts I came up with was it's important too for as you get into the career world, it can come into play when you're trying to access and maintain employment. I mean, yeah, you're not supposed to discriminate against all that stuff, but let's be real, like, if you're heavier, if you're trying to get a job, and you versus somebody else 100 pounds lighter, you'll probably gonna get it. And just save money on healthcare costs. Healthcare costs is another one. I mean, it's a known fact that healthcare costs go down when you're.
Yeah, if you have all these preventable diseases, it can cost much in excess of wasted money for medications and treatments for all of them. If you just decide to make healthy choices throughout your lives, you'll be much happier, have more fulfillment, and save lots more money.
Yeah, I think going back to what we were talking about earlier about maintaining employment, you know, if you're healthy, then you are able to do your job to the best of your abilities. I think that, you know, that if you're the employee that's always out because they're sick with stuff that you can prevent, I mean, it all goes hand in hand with being healthy and being able to stay at your job, being able to not take sick days. And
Some employers have a wellness program.
yeah,
I know that we can walk. I think if we gave blood, they would give us 2 hours, 4 hours. You know, that was part of the wellness thing. If you were going to walk some circular lunch, you know, you had a 5-minute buffer on getting back to lunch on time. But they had a program that was available.
yeah, I think, you know, that employers are coming around to the idea, like they have offered stuff for incentives for not smoking or quitting smoking. They're coming around offering the same type of stuff for people to be healthy, to be a healthy weight, to be healthy, have healthy cholesterol, healthy blood pressure, because the employers understand the benefits of that, of having employees that are there that aren't going to be out because they're being sick, or that are there that aren't going to have the added medical costs.
Yeah, and just going down a few more thoughts I had about it. Another thing is to be able to, so you can be able to participate in community or recreational events, things happening in the community. If you're unhealthy, you might have less energy, and I don't feel like getting out of bed today. I think I'll just stay home. If you strive to be healthy, you can just feel better both physically and mentally, and feel like getting out and doing stuff, and living and enjoying your life. And also, strive to be healthy. You can also, another benefit is you can be a better advocate for yourself, because along with things of what I just said, you can also apply that to being a better advocate. You feel like actually getting out and advocating and doing things in the community and for the cause and stuff.
Do you have anything you wanted to add, Christina?
Yeah, would you like to add some stuff?
Opportunity.
Well, and you know it's hard to be able to take care of and being healthy while being disabled because I've experienced it and I still do. But one thing is exercising, and I ride and walk to my local library. I like ride my bike for exercising. And that's a good way to like be healthy is by exercising.
Yeah. And my final thought on why you should strive to be healthy, you can lessen your risk of developing other disabilities or diseases. And say lessen your risk doesn't mean even if you didn't have any disability, you're, this day and age you're kind of at risk for developing, or even as healthy as you live, the healthiest person can still be susceptible to a stroke or a heart attack or cancer or anything like that. But at least striving to be healthy, you can lessen your risk with these other diseases as well as countless others.
At my son's school, they have this thing, ABC, it's called Active Braves Club, and it's basically just a 4-mile track that kids walk around. Well, since I don't work, I decided I was going to walk with my son to be a good example, maybe for other adults that, you know, they walk with their kids or set an example for them.
Okay.
You don't have a healthy example to follow, you know, it's probably hard to learn the right things.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of a program. There's an organization in Tallahassee, Ability First, and they do an event called Walk, Run, Roll. And what that is, that it's an event where there's a course that's been set up for people to come and either if they're in a wheelchair to go around the course in a wheelchair, or if they're they can stay there to walk, or they can be. And they also have wheelchairs where you can push people around this obstacle course. Like I said, it's outside, and it's a big draw to bring people out. It's normally in the early springtime, so it's like you've been hibernating for the winter, and you come out and just enjoy the hopefully warm temperature that we have in Tallahassee in March.
I've been to this event too. Speaking of, it really is a neat event, and there's a spot or two along the course that.
Oh, that's just great.
Talk about some
Technical.
issues.
Did that kill your camera, Michael?
No, I got better.
Okay. Let's see then. This is fun, you guys. There you go. I'll just sit back down. Just edit that out of me to kill you.
I didn't miss a beat.
Hope nobody's scared of the dark. I brought the power back on, thanks.
I didn't have the power from God. Oh yeah, we were briefly discussing the walk roll. That's just one event to Tallahassee, but oh yeah, I remember what I was saying. For the ones who are pushing somebody in a wheelchair, they have a couple of spots along the track set up where they initiate these like an obstacle, like trying to get over a curve or over a little bridge thing, where they have to stop on the course and you have to help the person across, just so people can experience the troubles people have, like in wheelchairs, trying to just get somewhere they want to go that a normal person might not think about. And it draws out a bunch of people. One year I went and it was a monsoon came through and there were still hundreds of people out there running in the rain, pouring down rain. So that's how big it is. But not to get too off track, but kind of getting back to what we were discussing. That was just one example. I've been to that. That's one example of how I've tried to stay active. I've participated in that. And I try and do some exercise exercise. Have a treadmill at my house and try and get on at least 4 to 5 days a week. And just try to lose some weight and be healthy and stay in shape. It's very much working since this January. I lost about 28 pounds. I won't name the program I'm doing, but and now some of the other members are just going to go around and discuss what they personally do to try and stay healthy with their disability.
All right, I'll go next. And as you can tell, I'm not the skinniest person, but I try to do as much as I can with my wife. We try to go to the gym on a regular basis, and it's one of those things that we talked about earlier. Sometimes it's difficult. You have so many choices that you could make of what you're going to eat and whether or not, if you are going to go and exercise, are you going to eat second helpings of it? And it's, But, I think that, the biggest thing for me is just looking at it in terms of a long-term thing of, okay, what I weigh now, well, there's a good chance that's going to go up if I don't correct my actions and move around. And I look at my family and I see, that obesity, and it runs in my family. There's a lot of people in my family that weigh way more than they should, and it's something that weighs heavy on me trying to figure out what's the best way to maintain my weight or even lose weight from where I'm sitting now.
I understand, I am walking and I try to eat foods that are good, eat vegetables and fruits.
Chris, would you like to mention a few things before you go into
Demonstration.
Yeah, don't go into that quite yet. Just
Right.
talk about what you do first.
All right. Well, my regular routine, I try to mix up different ways to stay healthy in the various aspects of my life. First and foremost, I'm a very big advocate for exercising. Personally, I do many workouts and stretches in the living room of my house. And I also run around the big block of my neighborhood, which is about 3 miles long, once or twice every week. And then I've also recently taken up climbing, like rock climbing and wilderness exploration, to improve all aspects of my body. It's come a long way.
Okay, and now Chris is going to do a little live demonstration for us of some exercises he does on a regular basis. Take it away, Chris.
Good.
All right, I think he needs a little bit of encouragement, you guys. You guys ready?
Well,
Come on, Chris! We're going to back up so Chris doesn't kill us.
All right, can you do it too after me?
Probably not.
None of you?
Depends on what you're going to do.
See what you do first.
Oh, good, I'm special.
They're all
Alright, so I'm going to do, 30 push-ups and 30 leg lifts, just to demonstrate real quick.
All right, you
All
guys
right,
ready?
here we
We're going to
go.
count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Here we go. You don't have to sit back down now, because see.
That's fine. Oh, there you go.
I just want to tell you guys that the reason we had him come up and do his demonstration, when he was in high school, he participated in the Junior ROTC program, and they ran him ragged in that program. And so out of all the council members, he's definitely the one that has the most ability to perform actions such as 30 push-ups in about, 30 seconds? I mean,
Well, something like that. Close enough.
Close enough.
I can do lots of things other people can't do, including my own sister.
Okay. You know.
All right, fine.
No, doing in push-ups that C just did is something that, that's a very basic exercise that that they teach you in grade school, because it's such a, it works a lot of your body work to get you really up and moving. And I think that, that some,
Like I said, change your mood too, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, that goes back to, what exercise does for you. It really does, if you're having a bad day, you go out there and exercise and just releases, I can't even think of the word is, but it just puts you into a better mood.
Endorphins.
See, the word endorphins. And you release the endorphins that really just change your mood. And that can, it's, that's what Pam was talking about, that, Pam Popper was talking about that she used to drink coffee. That's why everyone thought she was such an exciting, good mood. But even now, I mean, she still has that exuberance even without drinking the coffee, all the three pots of coffee a day. It really is amazing whenever you do look at you and how you feel once you start eating properly and when you start exercising, just the difference that it can make in your outlook on life. You stop feeling tired, you start having more energy and wanting to exercise. Your body begins to crave and need that exercise. I think we've all seen stuff of stories where people go and want to take 30 days of I'm just going to eat fast food, and then what that does to their body, and then 30 days of just eating fruits and vegetables, what that does to their body. It really is amazing how our bodies do begin to change, begin to crave different things. When you change your habits, it's difficult at first, but then your body becomes accustomed to eating vegetables, becomes accustomed to eating fruit, becomes accustomed to exercising. And 30 seconds, I'm sure that there's no way I couldn't even do 30 push-ups. If you gave me an hour, I'd still be like I'm 22 when I came back in, if that high. I mean, I think that really is amazing, a testament to what Chris does to stay healthy.
I don't know, I've read a study somewhere that said, most grade school kids can't even do 5 push-ups in a row. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
It is. This isn't just a disability thing. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. This isn't just a disability thing. Disability, when you add that on top of it, it's one more hurdle that people have to overcome to be healthy. You've got to deal with the disability issues and also every issue that everyone else deals with.
And going off of that, and there's countless different exercises that people can do, and you just got to find the one that you feel you are able to do and feel comfortable doing. Like Chris does the push-ups. I'm kind of in Alex's boat, though. I can't really do push-ups. I can do some other things, but never could master doing push-ups due to my disability. So you just got to find stuff that works. I came up with just a few different ones. You can do jumping jacks, walking, swimming. Swimming's a good one for some people. I like that personally. Yoga and just going out to the park and playing some ball with some friends or something. It's considered good exercise and burns some energy, and that looks good. And then for some alternative exercises, like if you're like in a wheelchair, I've heard of you can do some wheelchair push-ups. Not exactly sure how they work, but I know my father was in rehab for a stint after he had some surgery, and the therapy recovery that they made him go to every morning, they made him do it something, and along with some different chair exercises. So those are just examples and alternatives.
I think that the big thing when it comes to exercising is that if you're not used to exercising, then I think that if you're gonna go straight and start trying to do 30 push-ups like Chris did, it's gonna be very difficult. But whenever you can start incorporating into stuff that you enjoy, like, you know, talk about like swimming. Like, I think that a lot of people, when you think of swimming, like, they don't necessarily think of that as being like hardcore exercising. But if you can turn it into that, I mean, you can go out there and start doing laps, so you're still, it isn't as difficult to swim a lap as it is to do 30 push-ups. And it may not be as beneficial, but it's starting somewhere. It's starting somewhere to get your muscles used to moving, getting you used to just being out and being more active. You know, and some of this stuff, like, you know, getting out and playing basketball with your friends, or, you know, and that's like the commercial for the NFL is play 60, and it's telling kids to go out and just play for 60 minutes. Do something outside where you're running around, where you're something that you're not just sitting at home on your computer or sitting at home watching television. It's about getting out and being active, and it's really the same applies even if you're an adult. It's about going out and doing something that you enjoy, or something that is it's something beyond just sitting at home and sitting and watching television or working on your computer. You know, I think you see it sometimes, like you see people walking through the malls that are just in the power walking around the malls. They get there 10 o'clock in the morning, the mall opens, and you see the, you know, and they're, you know, I just think this picture comes to my mind. This old lady who walks in the Governor Square Mall, and she's using a walker, and she like runs people over. I mean, it's just, there's nothing wrong with walkers. It's just describing this lady that I saw that walks through the Governor Square Mall that like runs people over, and it's like, you know, that's
What is it called? The Governor Square Mall?
yeah.
This is up in
Does the governor go there?
No, the governor doesn't go there. I don't think. Yeah, this is up in Tallahassee. I'm sorry. It's not only Tallahassee. But yeah, I just think that sometimes you do have to think a little bit outside of the box and finding, you know, where it is that you can fit it in. I mean, you know, we do live in a society where we are at work. We got to go. You know, if you might pick up your kids, you might have to go to school. You might do so many other things that you do have to find a way to fit exercise into that. You know, if that is, you know, power walking through the grocery store, you know, you've got to find a way just to keep yourself active.
Yeah, and so, do y'all have any ideas on how to determine which exercises would be the best for you personally, just off the top of your heads? Any ideas?
I rode my bike and played tennis.
Yeah, that's good. Thought I had was you can consult your doctor. He might, or he or she might have some thoughts, because especially if like your primary care doctor, if you've been seeing them for any amount of time, they kind of know your medical history and might have a better idea of, or could suggest some activities, exercises, or routines that shows could be good that you could do, which also leads us to another point. Striving to be healthy and doing this can lead to having regular doctor's appointments with your primary care, or even visits with specialist doctors such as dentist or ophthalmologist or dermatologist, for example. Personally, for me, I have a bunch of moles, and my primary care doctor likes me to go see a dermatologist at least once a year, just to kind of be checked from head to toe, make sure they're not starting to look funny or anything. So
I think the biggest thing about that is that being healthy does include going to the doctor on a regular basis and making sure that you're having a yearly physical, making sure that you are keeping track of any peculiarities, particularly with your disability. You know, I mean, you can, if you have a disability, it does require you to go to the doctor more. I mean, just because there's so many things that go into that and being healthy, and yeah, I think that, you know, that you need to ensure that you are visiting the doctor as much as your disability requires, so that way you can make sure that your disability is managed along with all the rest of your health concerns.
Christina or Chris, you have anything to add to that? Any thoughts to add?
Hasn't spoken in a while.
It's like going to the doctors and going to see a dentist. Just making sure everything's okay. Health, body health wise.
It's also important you follow your doctor's advice. Going to the doctor isn't enough, but if he tells you, hey, you need to lose some weight, you need to work to lose some weight, or you need to watch your diet, you need to watch your diet, or even something as simple as the doctor says you should be on this medicine. Well, then you should pursue getting on that medicine and make sure that you are taking it as it's prescribed. I think that just going to the doctor isn't enough, but listening to them and doing what they say you should be doing is important.
Yeah, most definitely. And another thing, you ever, like with your primary care physician, if you ever get dissatisfied or feel that he's not meeting your needs, or if you go see him and he's kind of rushing you out to get to the next person, if you have health insurance, most of the time they give you options of different doctors to see, so you can always look for a doctor that kind of fits you. So, and back to the moving on, going back to the point about making healthier choices. Just going to kind of throw a couple comparisons out there of some different foods, and like y'all to share your thoughts on which one you think would be the healthier choice. Why do you think that? So, making healthier choices at home and on the go. So, for let's say breakfast, which one do you think would be the more healthier choice? Doing 2 biscuits with sausage gravy, or a bowl of cereal with a cup of milk?
Neither.
I'm sorry, what?
Neither.
Why? What would you have?
A waffle.
Okay.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
A smoothie or Pop-Tart or toast.
Out of all those, which one would you think would be the healthiest?
So I guess the cereal with the milk. Could you get calcium with the milk?
Yeah, you get vitamin D. So yeah, between the two, the cereal would be the healthier route.
Because the sausage and gravy will be fattening.
Yeah. Okay, so
With a Big Mac, because of the secret sauce.
That's for
You don't
lunch.
even know what's in it.
That's for lunch. We're getting to lunch, Chris.
okay, well, okay, so I'm just gonna throw another one out. So for lunch, and Chris kind of might have had a little teaser for the next one, but so at lunch, say you're at school or work, and which one do you think would be more healthier? Packing a bag lunch from home, a sandwich and a small snack, or getting a burger from a fast food joint down the road?
Soda food vending machine.
Burger.
Okay, any other opinions on the two?
But what about steak burgers?
I think the bag lunch if you save more.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think the bag lunch you snack from home because you save more instead of you going to a burger place and spending money.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. It's healthier and you'd save money. Okay, so, and then a couple more examples so for dinner, you think, been a hard day and you order in pizza and wings, or you have some chicken in the freezer and you grill some chicken with some steamed vegetables. Which one would y'all think would be the healthier choice?
Grilling the chicken with some vegetables.
Yeah?
Because when you have vegetables, the vegetables you get antioxidants, and they're likely a little more healthy than fatty sauces that come with meats.
Yes. Okay, and one last example, trying to incorporate it, I know a lot of people like desserts. What would be the healthier choice? A donut or serving the fruit?
Serving food.
Yes, that would definitely be the
Or a cup of Thrive.
better choice.
I didn't hear Thrive ice cream as a choice
Yeah, that
there.
stuff is awesome.
In the exhibit hall, that's.
I never even
Fried
liked
ice cream.
strawberry
Actually-
before, but now I do.
I know a Mexican place in Tallahassee, they have fried ice cream on their menu.
Oh, fried ice cream or
Yeah.
fried ice cream?
Fried ice cream? How
Yeah, I
can you
thought that's
fry
what you
ice
said.
cream?
In the session about
It's
eating healthy,
impossible.
we're going to talk about frying
Yeah.
ice cream.
I was talking about this stuff in the exhibit hall. I
Oh,
was-
sorry, you got us off
Yeah,
track.
I think it says ice cream. You shouldn't, probably.
Probably a nice idea. I'm from that and see a whole bunch
Go
of
help your mom.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, but
All right, well, one place where you guys should never ever go is, without a doubt, the Heart Attack Grill. Because that will kill you, as it already has many other people. I mean, with its double, triple, and quadruple bypass burgers, flatliner fries, and butterfat lard milkshakes. I mean, that's a death sentence right there.
yeah.
Where's that? Is that place in New York City? Is that
No,
where
it's in
at?
Las Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
Tell us about it,
Vegas?
Chris. We've got some confused audience members.
I haven't been there. I don't plan on going ever. I just read about the stories of the people who died on the net. That's how I know about it. And I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Just for the session, Chris?
No, just because I was curious.
All right.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to plan on sticking with the, I don't know, Steak and Shake, Wendy's, want a burger for my burger fix.
You're getting us off track.
And maybe go to Chick-fil-A and Zaxby's for my chicken needs.
See, if you can do 30 push-ups, that's why you can eat places like that. The rest of us are like, well, all right, we should be eating that steamed vegetables and chicken, but unfortunately, we do decide to go to Burger King too often.
Yeah.
But I only go to those places with someone else or if I have a discount coupon.
Indeed, because we're looking at our wallets as well as our waistlines here.
It's bad
Wallets and
economy.
waistlines.
Yeah.
It could be a cool documentary
We're hurting.
on wallets and waistlines.
But anyway, getting back to the comparison examples, the whole point of that, me asking you about some of these comparisons, my point was you can have all of these things, but be smart about it and eat in moderation and don't eat like this like every day of the week. Like save it for like special occasions, like if you get a good report card, you can go to the all-you-can-eat buffet one time, twice a year, and celebrate all your stress and hard work paying off.
Yeah, basically eat like us two.
Yeah,
We look the best.
So yeah, the key words moderation. And,
That's a compliment, don't worry.
in case y'all didn't know, he worked on a project where he actually wound up losing some weight, I think, or something. So,
Yeah, Forks and Knives, the documentary.
Forks over knives,
yeah, he helped edit it.
which is against like everything you just said.
Right.
So do y'all have, first, Christina or Alex or Chris, you have any other thoughts before we ask, if they have any last questions?
I think Chris just about summed it all up.
Okay, well, I guess obviously,
Yeah, we're good.
that's pretty much wraps it up. Do y'all have
What
any
about healthy
questions?
drinks?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, healthy drinks is perfect.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you've already heard about avoiding, sodas and energy drinks, especially those ones that can cause heart attacks. So what you should try sticking with the most is your all-natural drinks such as skim milk, chocolate milk, strawberry milk, Ensure, some good old fat-free milkshakes, maybe a fruit smoothie every now and then.
And the best to limit your sodas and sugary drinks like that. But like I said a minute ago, the key word is moderation. You can have one occasionally, but try to stick to more healthier ones. Maybe if you have to have soda, try and stick to the diet ones.
I think the
And-
diet ones
even
are worse
that-
because of all the chemicals they put in there.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that. But actually,
Safer to drink zero, like Coke Zero.
my mother read an article recently that like said diet sodas can kill you too or something.
That brings up the idea that you should stick with water.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to. Water is
Bottle of your
definitely
water.
But water only hydrates you.
yeah, water is definitely the best thing. And I know I'm sure there are people like me. Water is their absolute favorite. But actually, I found a good alternative. I won't name what it is, but there's in the last few months we found a flavored water that's it's a carbonated water. It tastes carbonated, it's flavored. And,
Tonic water.
It's 0 calories, 0 sugar,
Oh,
0
nice.
everything. And it feels like you drank something besides water, but it's really just flavored carbonated water.
I think the lady had her hand up.
Yeah, just a quick question. Whoever wants to answer it, just in general, being a mom, concerns about at what age did you become concerned about overall health, whether it's hygiene or exercise or what you're eating? And was there anything that motivated you? Was there, a change in how you felt about relationships or employment, or what was the motivation to say, hey, maybe I need to make this a priority? Anyone or all of you? Just, I'm trying to get some.
No, I think, I know that for me, following high school, my weight did jump up to when I reached 300 pounds at one point. And that's just, the big thing with that one was that even in high school, there was so much more activity than what I was getting after high school. Because in college, I would go to a class and then I would go sit in the student union and I would eat, and then I'd go to another class and go back to student union, and even at work, I'd start working, instead of having to move from class to class, I'd just go and sit at my desk. And the biggest thing to that is, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but a lot of my family is overweight. And so then it's my brother who, 350 pounds, goes, you're starting to look like me. And I was like, whoa, that's not what I want to do. And so that was a big motivation for me. But when it first started, when I was younger, when I was about 8 or 9 is whenever I started to get picked on for being overweight. And so that was a big thing that really brought it to the forefront. And at that point became conscious of, what do I look like? What does the girl that I like look like? What does the popular guys look like? And that was 8 or 9 years old whenever that really started to manifest itself in me looking at other people and how other people saw me. Because before that, I don't think that it had never really occurred to me that, we're all kids and you don't really start to distinguish that until, at least I didn't start to distinguish that between how people look until that point.
Mine's for health reasons. I'm trying to lose the weight for health reasons. So,
But when did you first remember thinking about it? Like, when do you remember when you first started to realize that?
after, well, just like a couple of years ago, I realized that my weight was being out of control, and my doctors have told me to lose the weight, because it could go to my heart, and I don't want that, so that's why I'm trying to lose the weight. But I've actually lost weight to exercising, and my doctors get proud of me for it.
Yeah, I can't really remember when I first really started thinking about it, but as far as like trying to get serious about losing some weight and staying in a healthy weight, and trying to force myself to do some exercise of some sort. Actually, it's really hardcore maybe in the last 6 months, but overall, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, I've been trying. I've kind of lost some, gained a little, some, and back and forth. But and also it had to do with my 2 or 3 years ago, I went in for my yearly physical, and my doctor wanted me to try and lose a few pounds. So, which I think he might just be just with that, because I have a relative who sees him too, and he tells her the same thing. So I know he's just trying to keep us healthy, because he's actually been my primary care since the day I was born. So he kind of knows all my disability history stuff, and so he's just trying to look out for me. So trying to stay healthy.
Seems like if it's not somebody that you really respect, or if you know cares about you, or unless something dramatic happens to somebody else that you care about, obviously make it a priority for ourselves. And that, I mean, everything, whether it's the exercise or food or just, brushing your teeth, thinking that, why is that important?
It's all about motivation and self-discipline. That's what it really comes down to.
So how do you get it if you don't have it? Any words of wisdom?
All right. Well, for me, most of my life, or maybe all of my life, you could say, I've always been way on the healthy side. I mean, when I was in middle school, I joined a professional swim team and swam there for like 4 or 5 days every single week. I did that for a few years, and then I actually quit when I was in high school because I joined the ROTC unit, Reserve Officer Training Corps. And I think that was the point in my life when I fully realized the importance of being healthy and like having strong motivation, self-discipline, and respect. And so that's what really started me on the path to truly pushing myself hard to achieve my full potential.
I think particularly with kids and with youth, you've got to go back to what do they like to do and where's their entertainment coming from. And not that exercising and being healthy should always be entertainment, but if you can get them in a situation where they're in a sport or where they're doing something that they have other friends around them and they have other people, and that requires them to get out there and be active. I think that's a big part. Because I know that whenever I was growing up, I had a cousin who was a year younger than me, and he was always in better shape than me, but seeing him out there doing stuff motivated me to want to go and be just as active and do whatever he was doing. And it really helped me to push myself to work towards that. And I think that having others around that are healthy, or others that are doing an activity that they enjoy doing, it provides some motivation there.
What about when you were in school with the peer pressure? Was it as much a discouragement as it was a motivation? How did you deal with that?
Well, for me personally, it was a little bit of both. I think that you provided motivation from my friends, but then there was people that weren't my friends where it was a really discouragement. Because with your friends, they're going to look at you and say, hey, you're making improvements. Hey, you're doing this. And where if someone who was there to bully you, they were bullying me, they were looking at it and saying, you can't do this other thing over here. So even if it was you can't do a sit-up, well then if I was able to do a sit-up, it's like, well now you can't do a pull-up, and now you can't do it. We're looking at ways to attack. And that's why I think that if you can find a way to do it like on a team, so that everyone's pulling for the same goal. So they want everybody to be successful, and so they're going to be hopefully providing positive reinforcement in that situation. What do you guys think?
Did you feel peer pressure in high school?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's weird because I know that like I felt it a lot whenever you go to like because you'd have to take gym and you'd go and you'd be in the gym class, and the big thing with gym is that the way they, at least for me, the way that they determined the grade was you did a set of tests at the beginning of the year and then you did a set of tests at the end of the year. How much you improved your health is how you got your grade. And so there was this sense of, everybody else is trying to improve their grade as well and trying to best what they did before. And so there was a sense of pressure to outperform your fellow classmates and where you were at. I know that like I didn't actually participate in any like sporting stuff in high school or in school in general, but there was that definitely in gym that like I said, because in gym everyone has to take gym, so it's the kids that are overweight along with the jocks who are in shape, and they're all in the same class, and they're more likely to be instructed by a coach, and he's like, okay, we're just going to go out and play dodgeball, or we're going to go out and do run laps or whatever it was, and it was the one time that you did blend, like because normally if the people that are jocks are going to stick with the people that are jocks, and the kids that are into reading or overweight are going to stick together.
Yeah, the jocks and the nerds.
Yeah, and gym was the one area where it really did collide with each other.
And even then, the jocks would run and the nerds would walk slow. That's how it's been.
Words of wisdom from Chris.
All right, but I guess for me, my motivation would come from, I guess in a way, the people around me, though not in the way that you'd normally expect. Rather, it would be I'd see people all around me doing the exact opposite of good. And so I was therefore driven to not repeat the unhealthy mistakes that they were doing. So I guess it's just a measure of survival and rebellion on my part. To stand apart from the crowd, be my own person, the good person, and not get sucked into bad stuff like a sheep.
What about, did you guys encounter any peer pressure in school when it came to being healthy?
I really don't recall feeling much peer pressure as far as my weight or anything like that. As far as like when I took PE in high school, actually I only took it in 9th grade because that's only required in this day and age. You have so many academic requirements, you can't hardly afford to take it another year as an elective, or would it finish on time, I don't think. But one year I took it, the coach I had actually, he wasn't per se the most organized, we actually wound up not doing much organized activities the whole year. I don't really know why. He'd take a roll and just run around the gym once or twice, and then he'd throw a bag of assorted balls out and say, have at it, basically. Well, I used to say, but even at that, I still shot around and some basketball and stuff like that, and try to do a little bit. The year I took it, my school was on block scheduling, so it was an hour and a half block long, and so sometimes I couldn't hold out for the whole hour and a half. Because of my disability, I tire out easily sometimes. So I might do it for half the time and go on and change and just sit on the bleacher and do nothing for the rest of the time. But coach didn't care and stuff. And then back in middle school, I did take it all 3 years, which was pretty easy. But and maybe didn't per se do it. I did participate, but sometimes I didn't. It just depended because actually the coach I had in 6th and 7th grade kind of took a liking to me and didn't really make me do anything. I remember I'd sit in his office and read the paper while everybody else was playing sometimes, but but I've tried to always incorporate some activity. But no, I never, going back to the original question, I never really felt any peer pressure from anybody.
A lot of times, when you have an adult in your school, like a coach that takes you under their wing, that can be a motivator. Sometimes it's the opposite, like you said, the coach kind of excuse you from participating.
I might could have done it, but I didn't do that every day. I just sometimes I would.
Right. But the adults or the other peers who are mentors in your life, those are really valuable people that can take you either direction. And it's good to try to, I guess, surround yourself with people that are living that healthy lifestyle that you aspire to, so that you can be motivated by them.
Yeah, the other comment too that you had made is the opposite sex. I mean, you're talking about hygiene and wanting to look good and feel good. At some point in school, you became attracted to the opposite sex. I would imagine at that point, you know, is that when, I mean, was there a change in your outlook as to how you were along, not just healthy, but with the hygiene and everything else?
I mean, you always want to look good to impress. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but it doesn't always happen for people on the same, you know, at the same level, on the same, you know, as you slide along that scale. And I think that's.
Well, yeah, you're right.
The long
It varies.
question is how do I get there? You know, how do I recognize those things?
I mean, some people, you know, maybe are always going to have that presence, but not everybody, and I'm sure you've noticed, has the same sort of respect for hygiene, and
Right.
maybe even a lot of adult people don't. But I want to try to help to pass that on to be important, so.
Well, school's cruel. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest about it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in school with a disability, you're already at a huge disadvantage, and then, you know, you got everything else that goes along with that. I mean, just being just being an adolescent and having to get through every day. So, you know, you kind of have an extra layer of responsibility there to yourself. And of course, you know, the whole being healthy, when you started the presentation with people that have a disability are a lot of times viewed as not being a healthy individual. Well, that's an unfortunate situation. I mean, someone that's in a wheelchair has limited mobility, and so exercising when you're in a wheelchair is very difficult. You know, we've been exposed to people that have limited mobility over the years, and we've seen things like bowling is a great sport for someone in a wheelchair. And, you know, Allison plays tennis. Tennis is great because it's an equalizer. I mean, she can go out there and she can crush kids that are just, you know, they think they can run circles around her, and she can, you know, ace them all day long because she plays tennis. I mean, and that's her sport. So, you know, not sure exactly where I'm going here, but anyway, yeah, get your image and that positive image and define that and find out where someone can excel, and then, you know, stay in that. When I listen to you talk about the run, walk, and roll,
Yeah.
you know, those events are great. The problem with them is they're once a year, and you know, you need that on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, to really develop those habits where you go out and maybe you just walk down the street, turn around, and come back. Or, you know, again, for limited mobility, it's, you know, I don't have all the answers, you know, and don't know, and you know, I haven't dealt with that. So.
We have one more comment or another comment from Carly.
Yeah. It just sparked my interest when you mentioned self-image and, you know, trying to dress to impress, as Chris would put it, for your peers. I think an important thing that I noticed growing up is that as I became more aware of myself, and as we all just sort of grow up, you want to be healthy because you do want others to notice, but that also, becoming healthier, makes you more confident in yourself. And it doesn't matter what your disability is. If you feel good inside because you're healthy, that radiates, and that confidence is attractive to other people. So it doesn't matter necessarily what you physically look like, but as long as you're healthy and you have good mental health and a good attitude, and you're, you know, striving to be better, I think that also helps you build yourself up and cuts down on, you know, bullying and things like that. Just trying to be as confident as possible. And I applaud Chris for
Indeed. I think that's, I mean, like you just talked about, striving to be healthy. That's what the goal should be for anybody. That, you know, regardless of your disability, you should be striving to be as healthy as you can be. And that is, it looks different for everybody. I mean, and I think that's sometimes it's hard to convey, because that is where the heart of it comes from. That if people are different and what their how they look is different, then it makes it difficult for other people to understand where they're at and where they're coming from.
Well, if you feel good, you're going to want to look good.
Exactly.
You got to eat right. You got to eat right. You got to do exercise.
Michael.
All right. I usually don't do this. I'm usually quiet when I'm up here. But Harley's my little sister. I've grown up in this community, coming to this forever. Yeah. But as far as speaking to motivating kids to get healthy, I grew up in a very active household. My dad's a personal trainer. Carly grew up seeing all that. I grew up playing sports, always been pretty healthy, but it's not really until I'm 26 now. It wasn't until I stopped playing sports that the notion of health played any role in it. And it's not really until, I'd say, like college, that the idea of the opposite sex or women played any role in it. What originally worked with me was just the idea of, like, I started weightlifting at a fairly young age, coming out of middle school and going into high school. And I liked, you know, going from, I'm a pretty competitive person, so seeing, you know, if I put up this weight one week, well, the next week I wanted to come back and I wanted to beat that. Or if I did a, you know, running or something in gym class, if I ran this at the beginning of the semester, I wanted to run better at the end. Or I played football or basketball. I was just competitive. I wasn't thinking at all about, you know, this is making me healthier. It was, I wanted to be stronger, I wanted to be faster. It was a performance-based incentive. And so, like, if an event like the run, roll, walk thing works, there may only be like that once a year event that's geared towards the disability community, but there's road races and stuff, you know, every couple weeks in pretty much every community. So if your kid gravitates towards something like that, you know, it can be, you know, go from sort of a hobby, this is something that they show a little bit of interest to, but if you can get them thinking about that and maybe preparing for that next race, maybe you have them, you know, run or roll in a 5K. You know, you see stories on ESPN all the time about, you know, a kid who 10 years later, he's been doing this his whole life, and, you know, he may have been way at the back of the pack, and now suddenly he's finishing a marathon in a wheelchair or a 10K in a wheelchair or something. That doesn't just happen overnight. And a lot of times it's not any conscious effort. It's just a kid like that. And, you know, if you can figure out that one way to extend the activity and to keep their focus on it and give them that opportunity to dive deeper into it, which I know isn't something that's always like offered or pitched to this crowd, but if you can find any little thing that they can do, even if it's not really an exercise, maybe it's, you know, some sort of, I also like to build things when I was younger, or I shoot videos and stuff now, and when I'm on set, I'm moving a lot, normally, not today, but, you know, I'll lose 2 or 3 pounds in a day from moving, and I'm not conscious at all of the fact that I'm walking back and forth, so if it's anything, you know, whatever their ability level is, you can find anything that they're interested in. I can't really help on the hygiene thing. If you can get a pretty girl to tell them once that they do smell good or something, they will follow up on it. So even if they're not thinking about it, it happens one time, it's there forever.
Yeah, but you're right, but like track, you know, something simple as high school track team, where there's some individualization and yet you're part of a team. Allison joined the track team when she was in high school and it was huge. And there was that belonging, that sense of belonging, that sense of being a part of something, and acceptance, it was huge as well. And of course, it helps to be in a high school that supports kids with disabilities and doesn't, present a hostile environment.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop the conversation, but session
time.
time is up,
Yes.
and so I don't want, if you have to go, you can, but we can continue talking. I just don't want to feel like anyone's being held hostage in here.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you guys very much. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend at the conference.